I like that. I like that. Oh, no microphone. Let's raw dog. Let's not raw dog. What's raw dogging, Larry? Isn't that having sex without a condom heterosexually? Raw dog. Isn't that where you talk without a script? Raw dog. Isn't that where it's winter and you walk your dog with no winter coat? Raw dog. Merry New Year. Merry New Year. Merry Christmas rolls off the tongue. Merry New Year. Merry New Year. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. Today is day 0. Other people call it day 1, and day 1 has a pressure to it. Other people call the new year day 1, day 0. Who says the word and concept day 0? Who says that? That would be Jeff Bezos. That would be the same person who I buy books from. That would be the same person that catalyzed book club. 13 engineers, 3,000 books. Book club. That would be 11 to 14 engineers, 2,000 books. The whole thing's driven on what you put into your brain. The reason short form content is the crack cocaine of this generation, any generation, is the fact that short form content, it's so deliciously easy. It's like coming up with a meme, which is a political cartoon, this essay of a politicized message could have just been one picture. This political argument, it could have just been one short form video. Like a meme that hasn't yet taken root, that's going to spread in your brain like wildfire, would be not eating short content, but making short form content. That's the micro step to go to the other side of the equation. There are two sides to the equation: making short form video and consuming short form video. Here's a meme. I just came up with it. You're welcome. It's called Default Zipper Down. Hey, Larry, your hat's off center. Hey, Larry, your tie is crooked. Is it? It doesn't matter. That's the reaction. Oh, is there something wrong? Hey, Larry, your zipper's down. Anxiously looks towards penis. Hey, Larry, your zipper's down. Anxiously checks with his hands. This zipper? Haha, I made you look. Hey, Larry, your zipper's down. My response would be default zipper down. Why? There are a certain genre of people never wear underwear. Those people are called gastrointestinally healthy people. People who don't wear underwear. That's Victoria's Secret. She's selling you underwear while wearing no underwear. A genre of people who don't wear underwear. A genre of people who don't wear underwear. Those people are called commando. What if we gained entry into Silicon Valley Gay Mafia when, hey, Larry, your zipper's down? You see, I was going commando that day because I used my underwear to play basketball. And after basketball, I had no more clean underwear. I had to wear jeans, no underwear, going to a Yelp party, a grand opening of a restaurant. I don't care how my sound is. You can just raw dog. I did you the favor of pulling my microphone up as we talk about zipper down. So we're at a Yelp party, and Yelp has a lot of attractive women coming to parties. Same people who like to write food reviews and restaurant reviews. It also had a lot of homosexual Israelis, aka hot gay Jewish guys. I come out of the bathroom because I'm hydrated. We'll call this good looking guy Jared because that was his name. He's like, bro, bro, default zipper down. Hey, bro, your zipper's down. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I almost got the party started. I'm not wearing any underwear. We'll call him Jared because that's his name. That's the guy who invited me into Silicon Valley Gay Mafia. He's smart. He's good looking. He's Jewish. He goes, well, nobody was going to see anything because your penis didn't clear the zipper. What? What? You're literally looking at it directly. There's no way that you're that blind where you're like, it didn't clear the zipper. Says to me with a straight face, it didn't clear the zipper because the new state of being is default zipper down. What would you say if a good looking gay dude says to you, hey, it wouldn't clear the zipper? I said, because I wanted to solve Silicon Valley gay mafia problems, I want to be the whisperer. Jared, the last thing I need are two good looking guys telling their friends, oh my God, Larry has the nicest penis in Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area. Those two laughed so hard. Why? Because they thought they were going to embarrass me, but instead they embarrassed themselves. Does this remind you of YouTube live comments? Does this remind you of Reddit? Because when it's a hive of mono thoughts, when it's a repository of cliche crabs in a pot thoughts, that's not going to help you. Today is day zero, which is us coming up with a new meme, the opposite of short form content, where we're creating short form content. We're making ourselves better day by day. Leading into getting better day by day, day zero with comedy, Larry, will you pick a lane you've got some of the best entrepreneurship content on the internet. My channel is general. That's why YouTube has a hard time recommending 5 more videos, because the technology at Google AI has not yet caught up to one channel, one vertical. Remember, Alphabet, Google, YouTube, YouTube Live, it's all the same company. If they haven't been able to crack one channel, one focus, one algorithm that's quarter broken, half broken, that means you don't have to be intimidated by Silicon Valley. You can do something that's the future of Silicon Valley. And if the words Elon Musk, Larry Chang, or Silicon Valley intimidate you, know that that's why Tom Brady, Larry Chang, Elon Musk have an open phone line, and email line. Because we need to hear all the crazy people say once in a while crazy things, because 3 messages in 50 are actually amazing. Those are just the ratios. Sometimes you're going to get a crazy person. They don't demoralize me. They don't demoralize me because that's truly getting ratioed, which is having to tolerate those ratios. Other people think that ratios are about consensus. Oh, you got ratioed. That's not ratioing for people who are going to do well. That's ratioing for NPC. The ratio of, oh, I said something, I got 0 favorites. And then a troll who says an NPC traditional thing that a troll says, such as NGMI, or what the troll says, which is, let's go make it about you. Troll says, hey, your zipper's down. Didn't even clear the zipper. You're trying to ratio by bringing non-NPCs into being firmly an NPC ratios. What this channel is about is doing things that are temporarily unpopular because it's the future. Remember, Web 5, it used to not be in the global lexicon. Remember, Web 4, it used to not be understood that Web 4 was started in 1971. You see, when I coined the phrase Web 3, I just got lucky. Web 3, it's still a ginormous shit show. Day 0 or day 13 trillion, Web 3 will never be solved. Why? Because the future's here. The future's here. Look at how innovative my channel is. Everyone else is going with pure AI. I'm going raw dog. No teleprompter. I was going to say no script. No teleprompter. No manipulative edits. No motivational music. Just one guy raw dogging, no microphone. Just one guy, one audience member. Larry, you're hilarious. I know I'm hilarious, but I'm hilarious in that I want to have 100% of my jokes be 100.0% true. One guy, one microphone, one you. Creating a meme. 2 girls, 1 cup of knowledge. Add 1 prepositional phrase, make the fortune cookie awesome. 2026 will be another year full of hardship between the sheets. Anytime you have a fortune cookie, you add between the sheets. Or that's what she said. That's adding a prepositional phrase, making it funny. This video, it could have been entrepreneurship porn. That's what she said. The first person to say audiobook loses in bed. Anytime you hear a fortune or a snippet, you add the phrase in bed. This is 2 girls, 1 cup of knowledge in a book that you sell for $800. What's up? What's up? Are you having a good sunrise video? 12 Days of Christmas. Not my franchise. It's 100 years old. Making a meme, even though you're a pansexual, neurodivergent, me and Jared both know Sam Altman. Not going to pray the gay away, even though I solved that problem too, as exemplified by the gay dude who we prayed the gay away. I had no idea how to pray the gay away. I had no idea that it was possible until I did it. 12 Days of OpenAI was neurodivergent. When people 4K project their neurodivergence to, oh, you're schizo, that's the realization that crabs in a pot is a meme. Where if you're trying to bring me into your psychosis, that's where misery loves company. That's crabs in a pot. Let's leave the pot because you're not a crab. And if you were a crab, you'd be one of those crabs that's missing a claw, the big right one. Because crabs in a pot, 12 days of OpenAI, genius to fix it. It's genius to fix it. So I got a neurodivergent person who's at Striking Crowd Strike. Goes, hey, we should solve this problem, Alex. We should solve this problem. You see, today is day 32 of hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. It solves the problem for the 7th time, making money every time. And let's say you don't want to make money. Let's just get FAGFF. Let's fuck around and get free food. Let's say you don't want to be rich. We can just fuck around and get free vacation. We don't have to get rich because you don't believe that that's possible. You do think that free food is possible. Let's get some free DoorDash. I recommend pulling out a pen. You see, we were at a party for AI, and it was in Austin, Texas. And I remember that. Because no one was really getting a PhD from Stanford in AI going to a networking function. It was networking people going to a networking function. I'm not going to say that that never ends well. I'm not going to say that. Because it did end well. Why don't we use AI to do something straightforward? Why don't we use AI not to try to make $1 billion when most people who are at that networking function don't have $1 million? won't make $1 million. $1 million is 11.7 days away. We came up with 21 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. We came up with that because it was a joke. Alex comes up with a website for it using AI. We bring this idea, not even on a cocktail napkin. We can barely remember. Okay, so it's 12 days of OpenAI. We're doing 21 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. Hashtag 23 days of OpenAI at SXSW. Larry, did you just juxtapose 23 to 21? No. Because at the party for venture capital that some Stanford VCs were hosting in Austin, Texas, we pitched, would you like to participate in 21 days of OpenAI at SXSW? Yes, we're in. It was so popular that my co-founder wanted to quit. This actually happens a lot. Look, it happens a lot here. Why do you want to quit? Because some people just want to stay neurodivergent. Some people, after you pray for money, they want to throw it away. Look at every lottery winner. I can't explain it. And even if I were to explain it, nobody would believe me. I'm like, let's do this. We're doing it. It's being done right now for a couple weeks. Finally, after maybe 4 or 5 weeks, I'm like, I'm going to have to do this on my own. My co-founder quit. This is actually where all the money is after people quit. This is where I say Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, because there's Othmi Chubaki Chambarada, who's the third founder of YouTube. There's a third founder of YouTube. And I'm not butchering the name because that is how to pronounce it. Instead of starting YouTube, he decides to go get a PhD in computer science from the University of Illinois. You started YouTube, you're in the PayPal mafia, and now you're going to go get a PhD? This is Indian people in a nutshell. In a nutshell. Asian people. Let's just say Asian people in a nutshell, because that's very Asian behavior in a nutshell. Steve Chen is an honorary Caucasian person studying engineering at the University of Illinois, going to get a PayPal internship, and then starting YouTube, and then giving the middle finger to the University of Illinois. If Steve Chen would have gone to Stanford, they would have said, congratulations, you're an alumni. That's what they said to Sam Altman after a year and a half. Sam Altman, OpenAI co-founder, co-founder, not founder, dropped out to do Looped. So it's 5 days away from South by, maybe 4. And I'm like, co-founder quit. I'm going to have to do this on my own, day number -5. By day 0, day 1, all of the money had already been made. This is me going to South by before South by. This is how to get a free vacation using AI is you go to math class before math class. Let me repeat that because some people never get that. Before you go to Consumer Electronics Show, you ace and get ROI for Consumer Electronics Show. Before Sundance Film Festival, you get ROI for Sundance Film Festival. You see, day -5 was Hector's Waffle House. What if you used AI in a Lyft to Uber Lyft, Larry Chang rideshare? What if you used AI to make a rideshare driver rich by doing Hector's Waffle House, connecting it to Dan Olson's book, chapter 9, which is step 6, which is minimum viable product, which leads to chapter 11, product management case studies? What if you walked around with Dan Olson's book and then said, how can this person benefit from reading Dan Olson's book 5 times? That's how the 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest kicked off. Remember, those are 23 days. It's periodization, where can you do more in 23 days than other people do in an entire year? Can you do more by January 1 than other people do in all of 2026? This is why this butt-ass early video, after I went out all last night, my stomach's actually not feeling good. I'm borderline sick, and I'm definitely rocking an STD. My body's not great right now. I actually just farted. I farted maybe a single digit number of times in 2025. I've exceeded my methane gas emission already. But the reason I'm here is I promised 2026 days of Christmas. This is how I did it. I did it using page 13 of a book that some hot girl was reading in a coffee shop called The 12-Week Year. You see, when hot girls are reading, I'm going to cold open. You see, when hot girls are reading, it gets my flag running all the way up the pole, orgasming, climaxing, going flaccid, and then excited again. Because lather, rinse, repeat, you just read more books. Lather, rinse, repeat, you just start quoting page numbers. Page 13, periodization. It's the concept of not chunk time, 365 days, January 3rd, you're going to get a flat tire or your windshield washer fluid will be low. And you'll be like, oh, I got to go to the BMW dealership and spend $500 to add windshield washer fluid that's compatible with my BMW. That's how this year's going. That's how this year's going. That's why a BMW engine light comes on. It's going to be $1,000. Would you like me to vacuum clean your floor mat, sir? Cool. That'll be another $500. Great. It's January 3rd, and I got a $1,000 BMW repair bill. That's how this year's going. If you think that a quarter of a bad day can ruin 365 days, you don't understand the opposite of that, which is What if somebody gave you 2025 days of Christmas on day 0? That's what I did for you with a joke. 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. That's a joke. Why? Because it's 12 days of Christmas. There aren't 55 days of Christmas. There's only 12. Last time I checked, there are 25 days of Christmas. The math from the 12 days before the 25th, that's hard for people to do. That's hard for me to do. And I'm a genius. What is that? 13? So I got to remember that December 14 is day 1 of the 12 days of Christmas. And then day 15 is day 2. Like, that's tough math. Guess what math is easier? The 99 days of Christmas, day number 70 is, 99 days of Sunrise Videos. Oh my God. I just gave you a new franchise via a mistake. It's like where I shoot it on her face, the champagne gun, and then it goes up her mouth and she's like, do it again. I was aiming for your eyes and your nose. I wanted the champagne to burn. You see, I wanted to say 99 days of Sunrise Videos. Day 70 is February 8th. I wanted to say that. Is that correct? Yeah. No. It's day 70 minus 31. What we want to do here, day 39, what we want to do here is make it easy for us to stack days. Not stacking 5 days, because look at your 2025. You did not have 4 good days that you remember. How was your birthday? Do you remember that day? I bet it was mediocre. What I'm doing with this video is I am giving you 2026 Christmases on day 0. You see, Christmas, it's a holiday where Santa Claus brings you gifts. Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny are in cahoots. Santa Claus is real, so is the motherfucking Easter Bunny. Why? Because toting around Jesus on a cross, that scares people. Nobody wants to see our giant penis dangling while blood is suffocating us, right? Me, I would get an erection getting crucified because Jesus only batted 500. I would be looking at hot blonde girls who are sitting there crying, and I would say, hey, it's me, Larry Chang. I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to blonde billionaires. I bet you've never seen a person get an erection while getting crucified. I bet you've never seen it. Why? Because people have a hard time being sexually excited when they're in turmoil. And when you're getting crucified, you're in turmoil. But I got tired of people laughing at pandas, not because that's racist, but because they don't understand why they're making fun of pandas. You see, pandas in the zoo, they're forced to have sex to make a baby panda. Did you know that that's how pandas get made? Is a boy panda sticks it inside a girl panda, and then X months later, I think a year later, the matriculation time is really long. A baby panda comes out, congratulations, your zoo has a treasured panda. But these pandas, They refuse to have sex, and I can't tell you how many times white people, black people, mostly black people, are like, you dumb pandas, you can't have sex. I don't think Chinese guys are having much sex. What? What? There's like over 1 billion Chinese people. It all happened because of sex. Yelling at pandas, Chinese dudes catching strays. If you pandas would just have sex in a zoo, we could get more pandas. Well, well, it turns out history has a sarcasm to it. Look at the fuck rates. Look at the fornication rates from last night. Look at how many people last night had sex with a beautiful stranger that they're getting along with. Tell me that's not pandas in prison refusing to have heterosexual sex, stressed because $200,000 is poverty per year. Stressed because they're unemployed, they're just going to enjoy the socialism at the bottom. Pandas in prison. Realizing that you're a panda, you're in prison, you're black-pilled, you're unemployed and not even looking for jobs. Or you're also a panda where you're rich AF and you're pretending to be poor so that way the guillotine doesn't come for you. You're rich and you didn't stand next to the money printer, but you were standing next to the money printer. That's socialism at the top. This is the Cantillon effect. Nobody can connect panda in prison to the Cantillon effect for money, except for yours truly, Larry Chang. Hashtag hilarious. No one else can connect being imprisoned as a panda, understanding that money printing, when the US government does it, Scott Bessent, when he does it, when Scott Bessent does it, it only benefits the people standing next to the money printer. That's why Silicon Valley is all up in DC's asshole, because before, New Century Leadership Circle was all about DC and Silicon Valley being oceans apart, connected by a 4-hour flight. Because Silicon Valley used to want to have nothing to do with DC. That's why we started New Century Leadership Circle. That's why that happened. Is that how I know Peter Thiel? No, it was actually before that. Speaking of pandas in prison not having sex, that's what happens when you're pansexual, neurodivergent. You go to gay parties and you don't have sex because Peter Thiel felt like he was a panda in prison. This is Peter's effort to try to feel like he's going to create a brand new prison. You thought I was going to say that Peter Thiel was going to do Larry Chang things. You see, Peter's prison is for you, the NPC. Me, I'm trying to put you on an arc because I'm super Christian. Peter is super Antichrist. Because if Peter really wanted to find his J.D. Vance, his Manchurian candidate, why wouldn't you just ask your Manchurian mentor? Hey, Larry, would you like to be president? I'm a kingmaker with Orrin Hoffman. Oh, wait, I'm going to be difficult to control because I know that you're a panda. I know that I'm a panda. I know that America has not enough pandas. Has this video been amazing? I engineered it to be amazing as I'm raw dogging on multiple levels and gritting through this sunrise video. To summarize, today is day 32 of the 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. Once you can benefit on January 1 from the 31 prior days, you're now benefiting from 4 other hashtags. Hashtag number 1, that's for free. They're all free, but pretend like you paid $50,000 each. You see, hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. That's taking advantage of Gemini 3. Those spam ads are actually real. I checked them out. Would you like a free $275,000 from Gemini? How do I know? Because Gemini actually makes money giving you $275,000 in Gemini 3 credits. Why? Because Michael Burry uncovered fake revenue. You know those Somalis with fake daycare? Well, someone's benefiting from that fraud. You can benefit from 5, 15, and 23. Because on those days, Michael Burry determined that there's an accounting fraud going on inside of the AI industry. Oh, but Larry, everything's bullshit. Well, the economy is ginormously bullshit, but people standing next to the money printer are benefiting from Web 4. Do you not realize that my mentee, Tom Brady, got my ire when got my angst, got my jealousy when he's riding in a boat called a Wager 77. I know that boat's like $4 million. It looks like $300,000. It's $4 million. What self-respecting person who's arguing about a pool cover for 5 digits, aka $25,000, bro, Tom Brady, if you're living in Boston and you've got a ginormous pool and it snows there, stop with your California mindset. California people would never spend $42,000 on a pool cover. How was this discovered? During this process called discovery during Deflategate. Tom Brady arguing for 30 emails. I don't want to pay 5 figures for a pool cover. I'm from California. This is realizing that a Wager 77, that was nearly given to him because there's socialism at the top. I'm not going to address his PPP loan because those are the rules. Those are the rules. And you can't fault rich people for taking free money. That's what it means to stand close to the money printer. This is why there's havoc in the economy. It's because it's the best of economies, it's the worst of economies. This has happened in the 1920s, 1820s, 1720s, and 1620s. What is next is some form of revolution or reset. Why? Because the government got caught doing governmental things. The government got caught, and the solution has typically been one government calling another government saying, would you benefit if 40% of your citizens magically died? I can solve that. Let's go to war. We're friends. You kill 40% of my people. I'll kill 40% of your people. And then the geographic lines, they won't even change. All wars are bankers' wars. This time, the internet's on. This time, you can't even turn the internet off because of mesh networks. This time, there's a neural network of radio signals that citizens broadcast to other citizens. Are you a citizen journalist? Thank you for your effort. One man, one journalism outlet, one man raw dogging comedy into 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl, wrapping with 4 hashtags. Hashtag 1, hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. Hashtag 26 days of Grok 4 ducking BK. You see, on day 13, I called an audible to be the third hashtag. We're listing them in reverse chronological order. Hashtag 26 days of OpenAI ducking BK. You see, like NFL parlance, I called an audible. Why? Because OpenAI itself was going bankrupt unless it got a government bailout. That's what it means to stand close to the money printer. I learned this on day 5, day 15, day 23 via Michael Burry, via Phil Clifton. Connecting to them via cell phone number based on publicly available information, not reverse doxing people. Everybody's doxed. That's why nobody can be doxed. Which is day 5, day 15, day 23, the third hashtag, which is hashtag 26 days of OpenAI ducking BK. I promised 4. This is 2 more because I'm going to over deliver. That would be hashtag 19 days of Grok at Osaka World Fair. That would be in August 1. I came up with that because we're talking about still page 13, coming up with periods in time so that way the 19 days of Grok at Osaka World Fair, that lives on in perpetuity. This is how to get more than 2026 days of Christmas. Because day 3, day 8 was David Rorsheim, Ritz-Carlton, Osaka. Before that, I came up with the 19 days of Grok at Osaka World Fair on day 15 of hashtag 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. You see, it went so well for the 21 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest that the co-founder quit. So I needed to come up with a new franchise in case co-founder Sue did Sanjay Jiminimini Jawaka sue Steve Hurley, Steve Chen and Chad Hurley? Steve Hurley. I wonder if Chad named his son Steve Hurley. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen gets sued by the third co-founder, AJ Shrimini Shana, because that's why I changed it from 21 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest to 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest, in case co-founder wanted to sue. 2026, it's going to have an upcoming hashtag in addition to today being day 32 of the hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. Because the benefit that we're springboarding from is the fact that we're reading ahead in the calendar for a period of time, dare I say, page 13. I do dare say the 12-week year, which is March 1 is hashtag 22 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. Those are 7 hashtags. You're welcome.